Hello again everyone, Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube video segment, I want to address something, I guess we could talk about excuses versus legitimate reasons for things. Now, recently I had looked at a video, and it was connected with self-esteem, transformation in one's life, and being able to kind of get off your feet, stop procrastinating, and make the changes in your life that are necessary to enhance it and cause you to feel, I guess, better about yourself, and giving you the get up and go, changing your dietary habits, being able to work out, and being able to consequently maybe achieve greater success in your life because of this. Now, this is all fine and everything, but it was interesting though. The video that I had looked at was somebody, I guess he's rose to some kind of prominence and fame and notoriety. He had a beautiful woman alongside him, and the viewership looked like the channel views total were in excess of 3 million. Now, forgive me, but I think it's very easy in a way, and I'm not chastising this person or people that make these motivational videos, but I think most of us agree that if somebody is at a certain plateau in their life, or they've reached that certain level or pinnacle of success, isn't it going to be easier for them to be energized, to be expansive, to be exuberant in these videos and say, well, you could do this to change your life, because it happened to them. They're getting all this notoriety, they get their fame, the acclaim, the accolades, and it's easy for them to do this. And the way, here's a problem too. This is what I want to get at with the excuses versus legitimate reasons. Now, I believe I mentioned this at least one of my other videos. Now, what happened was some time ago, I used to be able to work out on a consistent basis, okay? What happened was, due to the fact maybe I overdid it with the working out, coupled with some work-related injury, might have exacerbated an existing condition, I wound up having irrevocable damage to my arms, irrevocable nerve damage to my arms, which going to neurologists, whatever, getting the nerve conduction test has not done any good. I can't work out anymore because of this. That's a legitimate reason for not being able to do certain things, being able to work out, in this example. In that video that I had seen, okay, the person had stated, well, as one thing you could do, you could work out and you could feel better about yourself. Well, the question I would ask is this: what are you supposed to do if you can't work out? You have problems to your extremities. You don't always have the abundance of options that other people have. Let's take another example. Now, this is isolated and extreme. Now, somebody is crossing the street and they looked like they had their right of way. They went at the green light, and a car comes out of nowhere and hits them, and the person winds up being a paraplegic or something where they're everything but maybe physically incapacitated. This person's not going to be able to work out and consequently give themselves greater esteem or greater fulfillment in their life, and being able to possibly attract that significant other that they really want, assuming if this person doesn't have one already. Now, granted, for most intensive purposes, we do make our beds and we lie in them. Now, I could see for somebody that has potential and has the actual physical capacity and capability to do certain things, and they're just being stagnant and they're not lethargic, or they just don't want to be bothered doing it, obviously that's not good, and that may be perceived or construed as wrong. Now, if you have potential to better your life in certain ways and you're just not doing it, that's one thing. But there are certain situations, isolated examples, where people they would like to do things to better themselves, but they might not have that physical capability of doing it. Also, there are going to be people that are born in more advantageous situations. You take somebody that's born into oppression or an impoverished situation. Now, the odds might not be insurmountable that they can extricate themselves from this and reach great heights in their adulthood, but it does make it a little harder. Some people have to deal with greater trials and tribulations than others. And see, the problem too is because of the nerve damage that I have with my arms, I'm not even able to operate a motor vehicle a car, and have you. So when people say, "Oh, we don't want to hear your excuses and this and that," well, forgive me, but that's not really an excuse. That's a legitimate reason that inhibits you from doing certain things, I believe. It's not about being a compulsive complainer. It's about certain things are just factual. When I talked about in other videos, when I stated that society is dominated by greed, avarice, and superficiality, it's not about complaining or anything. It's just the flat out unabashed truth. When you're in a life like that and you reach a certain age, things can become a little more difficult for some people. It doesn't mean, as I stated before, about things being insurmountable, but it can make things very trying. It can make things a lot more difficult on that person to accomplish certain things. Say, like that video I'd looked at, and this guy on there, he was like middle-aged, and he had a girlfriend, I think looked like she might have been in her mid-40s. The woman was absolutely gorgeous. She was beautiful. She had good tone body, and it was like, okay, he was stating all these things about trying to uplift you and have greater self-esteem. Now, I'm not saying that his statements were disingenuous or anything. I'm sure he's could be very truthful. But it does, when you see people doing this and they're doing these things that are motivational. Now, I don't know if this person in particular has made money in doing these kind of things, but we look at like somebody, we take like an Anthony Robbins, who is, a lot of you know, is a renowned motivational speaker. He sells videos, audio tapes, he does his public speaking, and he's obviously making an exorbitant amount of money doing this. Now, based on something I saw on TV one time, I believe he does have a good heart, very compassionate. I think he enjoys helping others, but he's making a living. He's making a good substantial amount of money, and it is going to be easier to talk about these things to enable others to help themselves. When you have all this incentive, you have all this money. The people that are going, it's funny, you look at a lot of these people that do these things, in that they try to indoctrinate these ideas into you, and this idea of just not being pessimistic and being more optimistic and expansive about things and getting on with your life and accomplishing things. Those people, a lot of those people already have so many things in their life. It's going to make them easier for them to tell people these things. How can you imagine, okay, trying to tell this to somebody that really can't physically do a lot of things that they would like to do to uplift or enhance their own life. That just being factual, you can't, trying to tell this to somebody like that would be very difficult, I think. Now, like I stated before, it's one thing if you're going to tell somebody these things and that person that you're speaking to has the potential and capability to enhance their life. That is one thing. But there might be certain avenues, like I described with the nerve damage to my arms, where I can't work out anymore. And that's something that I used to be infatuated with. It was like a part of you take something like that away from somebody. That's like a strong proponent of the person's being. that's like taking part of a person out of them. I mean, but what a person can do at the same time is maybe make changes that they're able to make, like perhaps I can make some changes in my diet, and that might help. Maybe somehow do things to put more people in my life. So that's basically the message I wanted to convey, and that it's basically what I'm stating is there might be some people that complain incessantly, unnecessarily. I don't see myself as one of them. I think what I'm stating is that I'm being factual. Part of the reason I'm doing the videos on here, it's really not that much for notoriety, because we look at my videos on this channel on Zodiac Man 2007. I'll be lucky if I get 100 views on this video in a year's time from the day that I posted on YouTube. So it's what it is I'm just basically trying to convey to the people that I know that sometimes it's not your fault. Sometimes you have unexpected circumstances and situations where it does become difficult, if not impossible, to maybe enhance and better certain elements or aspects of one's life. Now, it's not, because a common misconception is that, well, this happened to him because this person didn't do that, or this person didn't do that. Now, a lot of times that's true, but that's not true all the time. Sometimes we have unforeseen things that happen which makes things very difficult. A person that is ostracized or persecuted, or is in an environment where people are not giving him or her much of a chance, is going to have a much more difficult time in maybe getting himself or herself together socially with others, as opposed to that one that seems to radiate something in him or her naturally that makes people gravitate toward him or her. Someone that's more charismatic, somebody that's more accepted, is going to obviously have that greater chance and opportunity to bring people closer to him or her. So there are certain situations where it's not always entirely that person's fault that maybe they didn't have those certain things in his or her life. But anyway, people, that's basically what I wanted to talk about. Basically, what I'm conveying is excuses versus legitimate reasons. And this is Edwin Learnard, and until next time, people, stay well.